Alex Waters. I am from Sioux City. Actually, I'm the Director of Alumni Engagement at Morningside University, as well as serve the City Council there in Sioux City. And the reason I'm here today to speak in favor of this bill is I had an accident when I was 18 years old, 2 weeks into my freshman year of college. And after that accident and rehabilitation, I then went back to college, pursued and continued and received my degree, went on to get my master's, before ultimately deciding that I wanted to enter in gainful employment. And what that looked like at first was very daunting and a little scary. Getting back into it, I wanted to make sure to have a really good career, and I had studied and wanted to pursue that. However, I ran into a lot of roadblocks along the way, and this bill would do a great job of addressing a lot of those things. A couple of them that I wanted to touch on specifically is after I had received my job at Morningside and then I got elected to the City Council, I thought there's a lot of great insurance opportunities here. I received private insurance, or I'm offered private insurance through both of those entities. However, I found out that private insurance actually denies what they consider custodial care, which is my daily care, simply getting in and out of my chair, being able to get up and ready for the day as well as go back to bed. I also found out that through the program with MEPD, I was able to stay on Medicaid and remain employed, which was exciting. So I worked through that program. However, now I'm at the precipice, or I'm at the edge of that cliff, to where if I make $5 more, $100 more, I lose all of those benefits. So actually what I've been forced to do is start denying raises and promotions that I would have otherwise received, because I would lose all those benefits. I thought perhaps I could privately pay, right? If I became wealthy and, hey, I should be paying this my own, and the reality was it would be tens of thousands of dollars every single year just going to care to be able to get in and out of my chair, and it's just not feasible. Finally, from a personal standpoint, I found myself having to have a tough conversation with my significant other that I'm not going to be able to get married, because what we currently have in the state of Iowa is that all benefits actually count towards the household. And so the second that I would get married, her income would actually count towards me and against my benefits. And I was really hopeful last year when I saw the legislation move forward regarding childcare and the increase to avoid that cliff effect. And what I see is a potential, the exact same thing can be applied here, to where we need to increase this availability for Iowans, because I am at the precipice of the cliff. A lot of people are. I simply want to work hard. I want to make sure that I'm providing for my family and setting up my future. And I know there's also the part about the asset limit towards the end of this, or there's discussion about what that asset limit could look like. I would just encourage you, or give you pause to think about, really, if that limit is set at 400,000, I completely understand. By no means do I necessarily need to live in a mansion and continue to receive these services. However, in a lot of different markets across Iowa, it's tough, right? $400,000 when you look at a home and then you look at modifications, suddenly you're going to be pushing up against that. And so I would just think about, how long do we anticipate this will be in place? When would that be increased, or is it better just to do away with it? And so I would urge you to think about that. And finally, just along with those assets, I also not only think about the home that I reside in and I purchased, but also, my parents are getting a little older, and I'm thinking about what will happen when they pass. Would I be able to keep that home, or what happens to that asset? Can it no longer go to me because of this program? And so I think that these are some of the impacts of this bill that maybe are unforeseen, right? However, trying to stay employed, trying to just give back to society, pay more in taxes, right? Maybe purchase a better vehicle that can get me around. All of those things are suddenly being hindered by some of the restrictions. So I'm here in support and appreciate this legislation very much, and your time.
Thank you, Alex, for your contributions. Anyone else?